Local Palestinian solidarity in Bournemouth. Oh, great stuff, man. Wow. Really? Great stuff, man. Good job.
Well, actually, the very best.
Oh, God. Oh. Bro. Seriously, fuck you. Is that an effective policy? Is that a smart idea? I don't know, but it makes you feel really good and excited, doesn't it? So, guys, the Greens Party Conference is today, or is this weekend. Great start. Exactly what you expect to see at the Green Party Conference, really, isn't it? Exactly what you expect to see. So obviously this has got Zach Polanski. Zach Polanski has, you know, had a lot of media recently. He's seen as like a promising new Green Party leader. I'm a little bit skeptical. He's got a history of being a hypnotherapist who claimed he could make women's tits bigger with his mind, and The Sun wrote an article about him in 2013. He's just kind of an embarrassing autistic loser, in my opinion, to be quite frank. And all of his stuff, it's like, truly, you would have to be, like, Politics Joe like him, and it's, would have to be very retarded to feel like unironically positive about him. Like, sometimes he says something that's, like, obviously true to anyone that leans left. It's like, he says it in a blunt way. It's like, wow, someone in politics saying something I agree with, isn't this so great? That's, like, all they get from it. And they don't realize that's, like, totally worthless. That's the only reason to support him. And sometimes you go like, yeah, doesn't Trump suck? It's like, yeah, I guess. Zach, we agree on that. Trump does kind of suck. So I don't really understand why anyone's pretending he's got any future. But hey, this guy's going to talk a little bit, and then I think this is their last leader, their previous leader. Or what? I think it's their MP in like Bristol or something. Is going to speak. I actually prefer her to Zach by a fucking long margin. I'm going to be real.
Good afternoon, conference. Is everybody excited to be here today? No. That is not the level of excitement.
But wealth taxes. But wealth taxes.
Record levels of membership. So, are we excited to get conference started? Awesome. Well, my name is Chris Rigby, and I'm one of the councillors here in Bournemouth. And I just want to take a few moments of your time to welcome you all to our beautiful hometown here.
Also, guys, I figured something out. You know that George Finch guy that's always on Politics Joe, the 19-year-old reform councillor? I can just go on the Warwickshire County Council website, and I can go through all their council meetings and go through the minutes and just find every time he speaks. And I went through and I watched one of them earlier, and it's really bad. It's really bad. It's like he's always auditioning. He's like always trying to do his best public speaking. Like they're sitting there talking about some new planning proposal, and he's like, he stands up. He's like, I'm so happy to see people finally coming together. You know, this is the sort of change we're really looking for. Like doing this whole like fucking grandstanding performance in the fucking county councils every week. It's so fucking painful to watch. I was like cringing out. So we'll look at some of those at some point.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that's a lovely Bournemouth accent. But I'm not originally from here, but this is where I chose to call home for the last 16 years. And Bournemouth is truly a global town, with people moving here from all over the world. It might just be a few hundred miles for me, but for other people, it's much further. And in the face of rising nationalism across the country, I think it's important to say now, wherever you choose to call your home is your home. It's an enormous privilege to stand here today as leader of the Green Group on BCP Council. 10 years ago, I was sat in this very building at my first Green Party conference, listening to my now ward colleague give this welcome speech. And since then, a lot has changed. In 2019, Bournemouth Council merged with Christchurch and Poole, our neighbours, to become BCP Council. And we went from having Simon Bull as one lone voice on the Council of Conservatives into doubling that and having 2 councillors. I know. In 2023, we had more elections and we tripled to 6 councillors on BCP Council. Now, our group still might be small, but we are punching way above our weight. As a group, we've worked to block the development of an incinerator. We've led on Palestinian solidarity locally, and we've pushed to get investigations into previously corrupt...
Local Palestinian solidarity in Bournemouth. Oh, great stuff, man. Wow. Really, great stuff, man. Good job. That's a big deal.
Administrations.
How about you like focus on like planning permission or something? Why is Palestine part of your Bournemouth County Council meetings? Why is that part of that?
Between the 6 of us, we chair half of the council's overview and scrutiny committees and the Dorset Police and Crime Panel. And Simon, once our lone bull in a Tory shop, is now Vice Chair of BCP Council. We've earned the trust and respect, and we're working to make a real difference across these 3 towns. And residents are noticing, because when you elect Greens, you get councillors who work hard all year round. This looks like Joe and Kate Salmon campaigning for new crossings and safe routes to school in Moordown. It looks like Alistair Keddy revitalising communities and bringing much-needed investment for play and sport into Charminster and Queen's Park. It looks like Sarah Armstrong creating a brand new neighbourhood forum and plan in Eastcliff and Springbourne. And Simon and myself bringing derelict green spaces back into use in Winton. It's no coincidence that all of these wards...
Okay, you suck.
Green MPs and former leader of the party, Carla Denyer.
Yeah, I prefer this woman to their new leader. I never saw her on Question Time.
Well, we say this every year, but holy moly, what a year it's been! On behalf of all 4 Green MPs and the Green peers, I want to start by offering a massive warm welcome to the thousands of new members who've joined the Green Party. Welcome to your new Green family. We, your parliamentary Green Party, and no, that phrase still hasn't got old, are really excited to work with all of you new members and with the party's fantastic new leadership team. We are unified, focused and ready with a bold, refreshing, positive vision, ready to be the antidote to the creeping politics of hate, division and managed decline. Before I go on, speaking of my fellow MPs, Adrian's not able to be with us this weekend as his father recently passed away and he's taken some compassionate leave. The funeral actually coincides with conference, so I'm really thinking of Adrian at this difficult time and I'm sure the whole party wishes him well.
Is she going to say anything?
Positive impact. These are the values and the politics that make the Green...
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip to Zach. Fuck it. Here we go.
Thank you. So last week, I was in Leeds, filming our party political broadcast. It's very early in the morning. The sun is yet to come up. It's freezing, basically. And we have some very lovely interruptions from people largely going to work. A few times it's a quick
This
chat,
is the boob
a
graph.
selfie. I very much enjoyed one of my favourite moments. I'm talking to the camera about excess billionaire wealth. And then suddenly a voice pops up from over a fence and he shouts, "You won't find any of that round here, mate." Well, actually, the very best moment of filming is I'm just about to finish and a young couple come over and the woman says to me, "Could I ask what you're filming?" And I start to say, "The Green Party political broadcast." She turns to her partner and she goes, "Bloody hell, it's Zach!" And by the way, we just joined the party last night.
Wow, there's so many people joining the Greens. What exciting time to be a Green
Now, I've
Green
got to be
Party
careful here.
supporter.
I can't personally promise to turn up on the doorstep of every single new member the morning after, but it was a very
Wow,
lovely
this guy's so
moment.
personal and funny.
30 days ago, you elected me to be the leader of this amazing party. What an immense privilege. And it's been pretty busy. From my very first day, where I went to meet a group of union migrant workers in the NHS, to standing here right now in front of you, the largest membership in Green Party history. I've honestly loved every single day. We said we'd build this movement, and that's exactly what we're all doing. I want to say a special welcome to every single person who has just joined the party in recent months. Over 22,000 of you, welcome!
Wow.
And I want to send a message to those of you who are still deciding, because we have momentum in every single corner of England and Wales. We are mounting our most ambitious, our most exciting campaign ever. This is the Green Party's moment. And if ever there was a time to join us, that time is now. On the day I became leader, a journalist asked me a surprising question. They said, "Why did I look so sick as the results were announced?" Now, for a second, I thought I could pretend that's not really how I felt, or I could do that unique thing that the Green Party does, tell the truth.
Oh, God. Oh. 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 Dude. I actually think I fucking hate this guy. Holy shit, man. I can do that unique thing Green Party do. Tell the truth. Bro. Seriously, fuck you. I want this clip to be flashed up a million times. Like, just keep running this clip back. Whenever he gives, like, a slightly evasive answer in an interview, just whenever he acts like a politician, from now on, just roll this clip back every time. Oh, wait. We actually tell the truth. Dude, it's, like, so fucking unbearable. Yeah, you can say, as a Green Party member, or as a Green Party candidate, or whatever, you can say a bunch of retarded shit, because power isn't a viable option for you. There's like, no, you're not risking anything when you say retarded shit. You've got nothing to lose.
So I admitted, yes, I felt pretty sick. And then he said, why? And the answer is obvious. is the enormity of the task ahead. A failing government, a country where millions and millions of people are struggling to afford the basics. The far right, they're on the march. Now, you will be pleased to know that the sickness quickly passed. But the moment we're in has only got more serious, more urgent, more consequential.
Okay.
This is a country that has so much going for it, but we have been...
I'm sorry, literally, say what you will about Keir Starmer. It's absolutely, you are just delusional. You are delusional. You are blind. You are hateful. If you seriously try to claim that Zach Polanski is a better speaker than Keir Starmer. If you seriously try and you are retarded, delusional, blinded by hatred, blinded by leftism, whatever it is.
We will smash the gangs. We will crack down on illegal working. We will remove
It ain't
people
marginal.
with no right to
It's
be
not
here.
marginal.
And we will secure Britain's borders.
This is the benchmark, okay? Let's see if Zach reaches this. Let's see if Zach hits this.
But there is a line, a moral line. And it isn't just Farage who crosses it. There are also people who should know better, sowing fear and discord across our country. And then when we call it out, they pretend that we're criticising reasonable concerns about immigration. We have seen that trick conference. So let us spell it out once and for all. Controlling migration is a reasonable goal. But if you throw bricks and smash up private property, that's not legitimate. That is thuggery. Thank you, conference. Free speech, free speech. Free speech is a British value and we have guarded it for centuries. But if you incite racist violence and hatred, that is not expressing concern, it's criminal. And this party, this great party, is proud of our flags. Yet if they're painted alongside graffiti, telling a Chinese takeaway owner to go home, that's not pride, that's racism. And conference. If you say or imply that people cannot be English or British because of the colour of their skin, that mixed heritage families owe you an explanation, that people who've lived here for generations, raised their children here, built their lives here, working in our schools, our hospitals, running businesses, are our neighbours. If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
He's not a particularly good public speaker, but he's better than Zach Polanski.
Again failed.
Like, this guy sucks.
By a political class poisoned by extreme wealth, and you can see that poison.
And the messaging sucks too. Like, Keir's messaging was just better there.
Single day. Rough sleeping. It is up 164% since 2010. Half of renters are just one paycheck away from losing their home. Water companies, they're pumping sewage into our water and then charging us extra for that privilege. A country where we are all paying the cost of the selling off of our shared assets. £250 more. That's right, it's costing us £250 more each household, each year. That is the privatisation premium. A country where a tiny few have taken our power, our wealth. Things must change, and friends, it is time to take it back. So on my first full day as leader, I went to Clacton. So Clacton. By the way, guys, that's not a phrase you'll often hear from the constituency's own MP. And I spoke to people out on the street, and it was the same story over and over again. Years of neglect, total detachment from the people actually making decisions, a feeling that there's just not a future to get behind. Well, that's where we come in, because everything we do between now and the next election must be bold. We have a vision for this place we call home. And boldness means connecting right now with how hard it is for so many people. It means listening, not just finger pointing. It means...
Like, it just seems so... I don't know. I don't know how to describe this. It's like a vapid... mindset. To just say, like, oh, we need to be doing bold solutions. What if the bold solution, like, yeah, sure, if you're trying to just, like, get attention in the media, yeah, saying, wealth tax now, legalize all drugs. Yeah, if you're trying to just, like, get attention in media, yeah, that sort of bold policy making is a great idea. If you're trying to actually fix the country, it might not be. So it's just like a vapid, you know, like, yeah, cynical, it's just like worthless contribution. Like, how is this, as someone that's rational and not a total fucking retard who is likely to support the Green Party, how is he presenting me a better argument right now than Labour? You know? He's not. Keir's saying, yeah, the country's in a fucked situation. We have to make some tough choices, but I want to try and focus on economic growth and alleviating the problems that are going to affect younger generations, like housing shortages and the collapse of the NHS. Okay, cool. Great argument. Great argument, Keir. Thank you. I'm on board. What's Zach saying? Zach's saying, people want you to do really big stuff, so we should just do really big stuff. People want everything to be exciting and big, so we should do exciting big stuff. Oh, that sounds fucking retarded. Oh, you sound like a fucking retard.
Presenting not just a positive vision.
Yeah, literally. No. Green. I swear I thought this the other day. I had this thought. Greens are literally, they're the ice cream for breakfast party. It's like, we're gonna give you ice cream for breakfast. That's their election strategy. That's their election strategy. Wealth tax. Take a bunch of money off the rich people. Is that an effective policy? Is that a smart idea? I don't know, but it makes you feel really good and excited, doesn't it?
But what we can do right now, because we are here to turn our country around. So, at every opportunity, from the doorstep to the TV studio, our message from the Green Party is this: we will bring down your bills, we will cut the cost of living, and we will protect our NHS.
Yeah. That's facts with Corbyn as well. Corbyn was ice cream for breakfast as well. That's facts. That's facts. We'll give you all free internet. How are you paying for that? Like, you literally just come into chat. Don't even, literally, wealth taxes are... Why even bother coming into chat saying that? Why not just, like, go Google, oh, wealth tax is a good idea, before you come into chat with, like, some retarded Gary's economics bullshit. Yeah, we should have a wealth tax, actually. Yeah, if you want, like, capital flight and, like, a horribly cumbersome, expensive process of valuing assets that doesn't collect tax in an effective way. Yeah, sure, you could do that. Or you could do, like, property tax reform, you know? Actually tax assets that are easy to value and in the country that can't be moved. That would encourage people to sell houses and create mobility in the housing market so that, you know... Except people do leave the country over that. People do leave the country over a 3% wealth tax.
Let's remind ourselves who we're doing this for. For the families who look at the bills each month, wonder how they're going to get by. For renters living in shoddy accommodation, they simply cannot take another rent hike. For the thousands and thousands of disabled people in the UK who have found themselves...
Yeah, 3% more taxes isn't the same as 3% wealth tax, you fucking idiot, dude. Oh my god. Bro, this is the level of discussion on wealth taxes. It's 3% more tax. No, it's not. It's 3% of your total wealth.
The sharp end of brutal government cuts. Look, the truth is this, that these problems facing Britain are longer in the making than the managed decline of Starmer and Reeves, although they've certainly not helped.
Then make it 1%, the numbers are negotiable. Do you see how retarded you sound when you're shifting around like this? Do you see how fucking retarded you sound? You don't, because you thought a wealth tax was a good idea in the first place. So... clearly, you're not good at assessing that kind of thing.
These issues are rooted in an economic model which is built on austerity and it's built on privatisation. But this party is clear. We will break the shackles of poverty and hardship that lock so many in.
Yeah, it's like people don't even think it through. Like, it's so obvious when you think about it for more than 2 seconds that a wealth tax is like the most expensive form. I don't know if it's quite the most, but at least one of the most expensive forms of taxes to collect. Because you have to value the assets. It's like... it's absurd. It's so retarded. It's so fucking stupid.
We will end rip-off Britain, and we will make sure that the very wealthiest pay more tax. Taxing the wealthiest is only the beginning. Rip off Britain, it really hit home for me recently. I went to Wythenshawe, which is very close to...
Yeah, people's complexity, the complexity of someone's wealth tends to correlate with the amount of it. If someone has a lot of wealth, they also probably have a very complex set of assets. So if you're taking 1% of the wealth of billionaires, you're not getting a lot back from that when you're spending a whole fuck ton valuing these incredibly, like, sprawling, like, portfolios.
Where I grew up. I was going door knocking with a local candidate, and as we knocked on doors, we met a man who was disabled. With him was his carer, who used to be homeless, and we spoke about how hard everything is, and how it just didn't feel like a single person was representing them. Yet so many volunteers had...
I can't tell if Sid's baiting or not. It's not too hard, it's too expensive, as in it's not worth it to do. When something's cost outweighs the yield, that's a bad idea.
Turned up that day because they wanted to make life easier and fairer for people. They had turned up because they believed in something different. And so as we asked these people for their vote, and I knew on that night that candidate Zoe Marlowe became councillor Zoe Marlowe, that she would be out there. That's right.
You can't tell I'm baiting, that's on you, okay.
That she would be out there representing those people we met on the doorstep and all her residents who badly need representatives to help make this country one we can all afford to live in. We must end this failed privatisation experiment. It will save us money and stop the money we've all earned lining the pockets of shareholders. Water in public hands, clean rivers, cheaper bills. And ending rip-off Britain does mean taxing the wealthiest to make Britain a country that everyone can afford.
Dude. It's so crazy. Drew Mark now doing fucking napkin math. Knows nothing about economics. Knows nothing about tax. Knows nothing about finances. Hasn't even thought through what percentage he wants on a wealth tax. Hasn't looked into capital flight. Didn't even think about the idea of the cost of auditing before 2 seconds ago. Now doing napkin math to explain how actually he knows better than a bunch of economists that have studied this and suggested alternative tax policies that could raise better money without the same risks. He actually knows better because he's doing napkin math right now in chat, guys. Fucking seriously.
Keir Starmer said in his speech that he doesn't believe those who say a wealth tax is the answer to everything. I'm not sure who he's listening to because I'm not aware that anyone's actually ever said that. What we have repeatedly said is if you're hooked to vested interests and protecting the wealth of the super rich, you can't change anything meaningfully. And sometimes when you talk about taxing the assets of the 1%, you have people worried that you're talking about them. Hairdressers, plumbers, who are understandably saying, I've worked hard all my life. Why are you taxing me? Why are you taxing my ambition? We need to make sure that every single person in this country knows there will be people who go to sleep at night. And without lifting a finger, when they wake up, they will be richer, much richer. They will make more money in one night than everyone in this room could probably earn.
So, Drew Mac, do like the base level research. Just go look into it for like 20 minutes. No one thinks wealth tax is a good idea. No one intelligent thinks wealth tax is a good idea. It's only fucking retards like Gary's Economics and Zach Polanski.
In an entire year. More than the whole of Bournemouth could earn in an entire year. That's why it's difficult to imagine, because it's obscene.
Capital
so we
flight
are
is
not
bullshit.
talking
Okay,
about
man.
taxing
Okay, dude.
hairdressers or plumbers or ambition. It is time for a party that will tax the assets of the 1% to reduce inequality so we can have a country with universal free childcare, funding for SEND education, rural bus routes, climate investments, tax the wealthiest, invest in our public services, bring down bills by ending privatization. That's how we have a country we can all afford.
Yeah, exactly. Property tax reform is way better of an idea than wealth tax. Just changing how we do like couch tax and stamp duty and all that shit. Broadly agreed, it's a way better way of taxing people with a lot of money than fucking wealth tax. There's a bunch of knock-on benefits as well. But, you know, you get absolute fucking troglodytes like Drew Mac, Gary's Economics, Zach Polanski, who are either blind, you know, blind members of the unwashed masses, or populist grifters who think, oh, just take the money from rich people, that the wealth tax. Just take a little bit of the rich people money, that the wealth tax. That's literally the level of thought that's going into it. And they'll get committed to that. They get committed to that because it's a really good feeling way of doing it. And don't want to just do something that's smarter and would raise more money for less cost.
To live in. And when I say we all, I really mean all of us. Every single one of us. Those who choose to make this place our home. Whether, like me, you were born in Manchester, studied in Wales, now live in London, or whether you've arrived in this country much more recently. This is a party which is unafraid to say, migration has helped make this country what we are today. And And by the way, not just this country, but it's helped make this party too. I'm one of 5 Jewish people who have led a British political party in the last 100 years. That also means I want to spend a moment to mark yesterday's horrific terrorist attack. As a Jewish man raised in North Manchester, I feel this deeply.
Oh my God.
And my heart is with our community. More widely, I am literally the product of migration. It's why defending migrants matters so much to me. I want to tell you about a common Jewish experience. It's a tale as old as time. My Jewish ancestry, it's confusing and it's muddling because we were constantly on the run. But from what I can gather, my ancestors started in Latvia, in a Jewish town. But they fled because of pogroms. They fled to Ukraine, where they faced more pogroms. Then they ended up in Poland, where they faced the Nazis. Then they arrived in England and met anti-Semitism here too. They changed their name to sound more English, and I've changed it back. Because I know in fact we all know, real pride comes when you no longer hide who you are. And then there's our deputy leaders. Mothin, son of a steel worker, whose parents came from what is now known as Bangladesh in the 60s. Rachel, who, apart from a Danish great-granddad and a Welsh grandma, has family roots tied to England as far back as she knows.
I would probably kill myself if I had to live in Manchester. Okay, dude.
One brought up Jewish,
Real
one raised
though.
Muslim, one a child of the church. A leadership. 3 different backstories. In a country enriched by people from all over the world. The Prime Minister might call this an island of strangers. When Farage says jump, Labour might say how high. But the Greens will never dance to the tune of a Trump-loving, tax-avoiding, science-denying, NHS dismantling corporate stooge.
So weak. So lame, dude.
You might as well stay on your feet, because I'm going to say, we'll say it loud, we'll say it clear, migrants and refugees are welcome.
Bro, I can't. Oh my God. It's just like such shit messaging. It's such shit messaging. Again, I'm going to play the Keir clip again, because this is just so much better. This is what the energy has to be. Stop the say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here. No, it's just fucking reform of the enemy. They're the enemy. They are scum. They're fucking lowlives. They're the enemy.
We have seen that trick conference. So let us spell it out once and for all. Controlling migration is a reasonable goal. But if you throw...
Well, yeah, because it's... I am playing it again, because it's relevant.
That's not legitimate. That is thuggery. Thank you, Conference. Free speech. Free speech. Free speech is a British value, and we have guarded it for centuries. But if you incite racist violence and hatred, that is not expressing concern. It's criminal. And this party, this great party, is proud of our flags. Yet if they're painted alongside graffiti, telling a Chinese takeaway owner to go home, that's not pride, that's racism. And Conference. if you say or imply that people cannot be English or British because of the colour of their skin, that mixed heritage families owe you an explanation, that people who've lived here for generations, raised their children here, built their lives here, working in our schools, our hospitals, running businesses, are our neighbours. If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
So much better. Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here. Shut up, man. Shut up. Shut up.
You might as well stay on your feet, because I'm going to say, we'll say it loud, we'll say it clear. Migrants and refugees are welcome here.
Dude, he sucks so bad.
We are under no illusion as to the threat we face in this country. A march in London addressed by a who's who of the far right. A party leading in the polls with plans to deport our friends, our neighbours, our family members. And a government, a Labour government, who are the handmaidens of this dangerous, deceitful politics. There is no easy way forwards. But the only way starts, and I literally...
So what's your position on immigration then? So you wouldn't change anything on immigration? So you just think immigration's fine as it is? You're not going to win with that perspective. That's for fucking sure. Like, I understand saying, you know, you can say about the Island of Strangers speech. Keir played way too far into reform rhetoric with that, sure. On the policy, what's your problem with the policy? What's your problem with the policy? Yeah, the boats should stop. France should not be allowing people to go from Calais to the UK. You're supposed to stop in the first safe country. You should not be coming from Calais to the UK to seek asylum. That should not be happening. That's correct. That should be stopped. That, you know, totally legitimate to want a points-based immigration system like Australia's got, which is sort of roughly what the ILR stuff seems to be heading towards with Keir. Totally reasonable to want that. Most people want that. So what's your position? You think all of that's bad and none of that should happen? We should just let infinite boats and whatever immigrants come in. Yeah, exactly. They exist to wedge Labour for seats, not to improve anything. So true. So true. So true.
The only way. It starts with building in our communities. There's nothing wrong with being proud of where we live. In fact, it should fill us all with pride. Caring for our local parks, building friendships with our neighbours, organising with fellow tenants, celebrating our differences. Those are the deep roots that really matter. In Clacton that day, one of the people I spoke to was a guy called Paul. He'd just come out of prison. He said he wanted to stop the boats. Said he wasn't anti-migrant, he was Irish, and migration was in his blood. But he said to me, look at my high street. Look at where I live. How can we have more people come in? So we talked a little. We found common ground on some things. On other things, there's still lots of conversations to be had. But I told him how the Green Party also want to stop the boats. We want to stop them through safe and legal routes.
Except it's not an infinite taxpayers glitch. Dude, like, okay, DrewMac, you are just outing yourself as so fucking stupid. Even if you wanted to accept in a bunch of those asylum seekers and turn them into taxpayers, we have such an insane backlog that is causing a huge, not only administrative burden, but accommodation burden. It's causing issues in local communities, causing unrest. So you cannot just have people doing irregular entries to the country non-stop. You cannot have that. It just can't be happening. We cannot deal with it.
We talked some more. We talked about austerity and the consequences of decades of underinvestment in his community. That's a threat to our high streets, I said. Our communities are complex. They have their problems. And change can make people worried. But we know where that complexity should lead us. It should lead us to better public services, to creating spaces we can all gather, places young people can meet up. Change can mean thriving new economies, new cuisines, people of all faiths coming together. The threat to the places we love comes not from people or...
No, but the boats are not the main issue, but the boats are a big issue. The boats are obviously bad. The boats, it should not be happening in the first place because it is for our safest country. It is an insane administrative burden having irregular arrivals and the asylum shit backed up, but that does not just come from boats. The boats are just the most visible example of it. But none of that shit should be happening because it just literally should not be happening in the first place. It's reasonable for people not to want it happening. When it's supposed to be, when that's not the rules, you're not supposed to be doing that. And people see it happening day in, day out, just the rules being flagrantly violated. They're going to get pissed off.
Boats, it comes from an economic system that sucks money from people and places who need it. And it comes from a politics that tries to divide us and point the finger at...
Dude, even if they didn't come by boat, people still... This issue has existed long before the boats. Okay, Drew Mac might get banned. This guy's real dumb. People were still upset when it was fucking trucks. People were still upset when it was, you know, whatever on the Eurotunnel. I think it's still trucks, right? That people still don't like it when it's ferries or whatever. People fucking hate it. They hate seeing fucking a bunch of asylum seekers go running across a fucking parking lot. They hate it. It still causes issues. People do not want any immigrants because they're assholes. Dude, you are literally... Okay, you are the dumbest motherfucker. You're a caricature of a worthless lefty. I'm so glad people like you have no relevance. Holy fuck.
Rather than the billionaires. This is a nation of neighbours. We have
well,
to...
Well, absolutely fucking cancer people like you are. Holy shit.
There is a clear path here. If reform can rocket through the polls with a politics of despair, then it's time for the Green Party to do the same thing, but with a politics of hope. So we're going to be focusing day in, day out on the cost of living. It makes me cry too. On making our country a place where we can all afford to live. But don't think for a moment.
What, like, legit, what are just... Dude. If you're some kind of foreigner, truly, I hope they get you first. Because it's, like, insane to say something like this. Well, bad luck. Racists tried to get around international law by being clever and fucked themselves. No, they fucked you and me and the whole fucking country. Because now it's just making more people into them. So, that mindset, your worthless fucking retarded mindset of, no, actually, they should just let all of them run across the fucking Eurotunnel. They should just let all of them in the fucking Eurotunnel. We should have thousands of immigrants actually going on foot through the Eurotunnel. Going on, just like millions of them tunneling through. We should just do that, actually. We should just completely open it up. Yeah, nice one. So just make the whole situation worse for you and me and everyone. Because you're too much of like a dug-in scumfuck loser who refuses to think through anything, whether it be wealth tax or immigration. To the point where you're willing to just suicide bomb the fucking country. Probably not a strange concept to you. It's like disgusting. It's like disgusting. Deliberately opposed to solutions. Just like constantly opposed solutions. No, we can't just do property tax. We have to do wealth tax. No, we can't fix immigration. We have to let them in.
Our horizons are going to narrow. When mass slaughter is happening in Palestine, we will not be silent. When governments try to silence dissent, we won't be silent. And when Keir Starmer, in one of the most deeply cynical and morbid acts I've seen in my lifetime, decides to recognise a Palestinian state at the same moment that his government is an active participant in the murdering of the Palestinians, then we will never be silent. Let it be heard across our country, but a call that is now echoing around the world. We must stop selling arms to Israel. We must stop sharing intelligence. We will do everything we can to stop the genocide. We cannot talk about stopping genocide without talking about the draconian crackdown on the right to protest happening against those taking action for Palestine, using terrorist legislation to arrest hundreds and hundreds of protesters for simply holding up a sign. The prescription of Palestine action must be withdrawn, and every parliamentarian...
I think it's very unintelligent to call for this as a politician, because you don't actually have access to full information. They keep signaling towards the idea that the Home Office has some additional information that they're being investigated on the basis of. So I think it's really dumb to stake a claim on this before information comes out, but hey.
And every parliamentarian, Labour, Tory, Reform, even Lib Dem,
nobody's running or rejoining
failed to vote against it, need to hang their heads in shame. This country has a proud tradition of protecting civil liberties. But once again, a Labour government is cracking down on our rights. From terrorist prescriptions against protesters, to banning journalists from their conference, to diving into a rushed evidence...
Oh, but boo fuck it, Owen Jones got banned. Oh no, oh no.
...free plan for digital IDs that will only discriminate mainly against minorities. The alarm bells of authoritarianism are ringing loud and clear. And so, my friends, it is down to us, the Green Party, to take a stand, say our rights, our liberties, are non-negotiable, and we will do everything in our power to protect both our privacy and defend our juries. And when we talk about global issues, it's clear we also need global solutions. We see that starkly with climate breakdown and with the nature crisis. I've been asked dozens and dozens of times in the last few days, in fact in the last few hours probably, if the Green Party is an environmental movement or a social justice movement. As if you can't speak up for our working class or LGBT+ communities at the same time as challenging the fossil fuel industry. So let's clear this up. You cannot be an effective environmentalist without talking about the deep inequality in our society. But The climate crisis is also the cost of a living crisis, and it is hitting our poorest communities hardest. Food inflation is being made worse by climate breakdown. We live in one of the most nature-depleted countries in the world, and we've literally just had the hottest summer on record. Now, Labour made a £28 billion pledge on green investment, but they ditched it before the election, before they'd even had a sniff of power. Now, many of their politicians...
Anyone complaining about the hottest summer on record, though, really? Anyone actually complaining about that?
They promised not to grant new licenses.
Maybe don't bring that one up. Maybe don't bring that effect of climate change up.
And now we hear, inexplicably, they're exploring new ways to drill. The one politician in the cabinet who at least half gets the issue, Ed Miliband, they've tried to sack him. They have failed us on climate, like they have failed us on so many things. And we are now...
People die from heat stroke. Yeah, I mean, people die from heat stroke whenever the temperature's high. The idea that it's like, oh no. You know, obviously climate change bad. You're saying, oh, people die from heat stroke as if that's supposed to change my enjoyment of hot weather. Like, yeah, no shit. Old people die from heat stroke when the weather gets hot.
We're now past the point where we can hope they'll change course. Its politics is one of managed decline, and it's dressed up in this weird national renewal and draped in reform-baiting policy-making. More of the same from Keir Starmer won't just fail us now. It will hand this country on a plate to the forces around Nigel Farage. That's what's at stake here. We are not in a situation where we can hope they'll get better, or we just need to express concern. We're in a moment of change, and it is our time, the Green Party's time, to be bold. And that is why Labour councillors are defecting. It's why Labour members are joining. It's why thousands upon thousands of ex-Labour voters are now saying enough is enough, and are putting a cross by the Green Party for the first time, because Labour's arrogant assumptions that it is entitled to anyone's vote, those assumptions end today.
Have you considered that it may just be that Labour is still the best option?
There are so many people in this country who need us right now. Now, last month, I thanked my boyfriend Richie.
Listen, dude, there would be a whole lot of problems that would be way less of an issue if we just had, like, no old people, you know? They actually solve a lot of issues, but hey, it's not the world we live in.
Some palliative care. I got pretty emotional. I'm not going to do that again. I've got a speech to finish. But I was emotional because I see the work.
Yeah, wait, this guy's gay?
I'm going to get emotional. Both all
Dude, you
Richie
can't be...
does and his colleagues do every single day for people in their final chapters of life. I remember years ago when Richie first started working at the hospice. I was worried about what every day would be like, dealing with the weight of working in such an environment. But actually, it's the complete opposite. They often say in hospices, no one enjoys life more than those who work with people who are dying. And so, as well as thanking again my wonderful boyfriend, it's a moment to recognise how many people across our country are doing these jobs, caring for people, working for the public, showing kindness and compassion. That's the most patriotic thing I could possibly imagine.
Wow, that's like what Keir said too. Do you agree with Keir?
And while I'm thanking people, I want to thank all the patriots working inside the Green Party, because you're all working towards the goal of a better country, from our MPs, our peers, our assembly members, our councillors, our staff team, all our volunteers, every single one of you for putting in this work for our country. Thank you. We've got a huge amount of work to do. In just a few months' time, we have an incredibly important set of elections, and our sights are set high. Look at next year alone, and get ready for some bold politics. We are fighting to win our first ever directly elected mayor in Hackney. In fact, we're campaigning to win more seats in more places than ever before, and we are on the very cusp of winning our first ever Green seats on the Senate. And that's just the first step. Piece by piece, brick by brick, we are building a party that represents every corner of this country, so that in 2029, or whenever the general election comes, we will be fighting to win more seats than ever before. We will convert our 39 second places into many new MPs. So whether it's Anthony Slaughter and Tessa Marshall in the Senate, or Zoe Garbett and Dylan Law in Hackney, are the hundreds of people who we will turn into councillors. We are not messing around. We are here and we are ready to win.
This is unbearable.
Now, they say you should end big speeches on huge applause. But I actually want to end on a much smaller, tiny moment, a small gesture. But it's something that's really stuck with me this month, and I want to share it with all of you now. So I went to visit the Dusty Knuckle. It's a bakery that employs people who have just come out of prison. Mentors go to visit people just before they leave, and they smooth over that transition process to give everyone a fresh start in life. It was an amazing visit, and I was humbled to spend time listening and talking to so many different people, each with their own different story. The one that really stuck with me, though, was a story about a man who'd just come out, his first day out of prison. He arrived, terrified of this new life.
And he pulled out a knife and pointed at me and said, "Give me your wallet. Give me your wallet and your phone."
He was a little late because it had been years since he'd used public transport. There was a cup of tea waiting for him. Someone, knowing he was going to be late, had made the time to make a stranger a cup of tea. A simple act of kindness from one stranger to another. That's what this country is when it's at its best. And that matters today, of all days. It's thoughtful, it's considerate, and it's kind. This May is huge. Hateful, divisive politics will be on the ballot paper. We can and we must reject that. Let's look after each other. The Green Party's moment is now. We are ready. Thank you, conference. Let's go!
Sorry, guys. I AFK'd for 2 seconds. I'm back. Okay. Wow. That guy sucks. I fucking hate the Greens.